Corps of Discovery by L.J. Martin. A president named Jefferson. He had a big dream. It would take special men who could act as a team. Jefferson picked Lewis. Lewis picked friend Clark. From a camp named Dubois, now to make their mark. You can search for an answer, then find at your feet men who will not stop till the country's complete. Men like cougars, tough, strong, who will live off the land, who will work together, forged as a team they'll stand. The Louisiana Purchased had double the size, but a route to the Pacific, now Jefferson's prize. The Corps of Discovery was the chosen name, 45 souls with luck, destined for fame. Cook, Dupratz, Mackenzie teased of the goal, but the route itself was an unknown black hole. 45 brave men and a hound named Seaman, a Newfoundland hound that could be a demon. A keelboat, 2 pirogues, packed bow to stern, flora, fauna, tribes, and route, so much to learn. Into the unknown they pushed off from shore. 45 and a hound made up the Corps. It was May of 1804 and the water ran high. Upstream was a feat with death always nigh. Not long on Big Mo, Sergeant Charles Floyd died. Did this foretell of more? Many corpsmen cried. So on they charged into a muddy, roiling river. Jefferson's prize they were determined to deliver. They reached the Great Plains, bison, elk, and deer. For many a day hunger was nothing to fear. The first to say no passage were the powerful Sioux, but with the Corps bowed backs, they passed on through. With winter's first gale, they built a fort named Mandan. They survived in good stead, losing nary a man. At Mandan, Lewis hired guide Charbonneau. More important than him was what would accrue. His young wife, Sacagawea, even ripe with child, would lead the Corps and help conquer the wild. An expedition with a young, handsome girl said peace where hate and suspicion whirl. The Mandans taught lessons that eased. The Corps headed upriver more than pleased. Soon, with a babe by Clark nicknamed Pump, ahead of the men she continued to stomp. The captains watched but continued to doubt. Alas, Sacagawea in the lead matched any scout. Soon only Charbonneau about whom they worried. His wife, a treasure, babe on back she scurried. Clark had brought York, a strong young slave, who hunted, rode, and proved beyond brave. The Mandans proved friends, helpful and kind. From the boredom of winter, now it was grind. Now it was sweat, walk, pole, pull, and row. Few forces on earth top Spring's mighty mow. Sandbars, log jams, snags, say you damn fools. With strong back's determination, you're only tools. The good was plains, buffalo, ducks, and deer. The bad was in every way danger was near. The flora and fauna, they sent the keelboat home. Now with pirogue and canoes they would roam. Now to the heart of darkness, the total unknown. Hope and fear was with them, deep to the bone. For Lewis, this unknown was a lifelong dream. Country, he said, beautiful in the extreme. Grass belly deep, buff and precious beaver. Walk, paddle, and pull, advance, now a fever. Almost daily, a new discovery, flora and fauna. To explorer Lewis, the plains were nirvana. West, west, now the core of fine-tuned team. Now the wide Yellowstone on the abeam. But Jefferson instructed, follow Moe to the end. And west was the result, bend after wide bend. With each discovery, Lewis made careful notes. Now, with iced paddles, charged on in small boats. From buffalo, fat cook made a fine pudding dish, and plenty of wild meat, birds, even fish. Nice Mandan ladies, plentiful buffalo meat, scurvy, syphilis, ailments that must be beat. Hard winds and dust irritated the men's eyes. Still they charged on, intent on Jefferson's prize. Ahead, alone, Private Bratton shot a grizzly bear. Arrived at the boats out of breath, but not prayer. A pirogue under sail was attacked by a squall. Filled an inch from their gunnels, about to lose all. Bailing with kettles, they paddled to shore, drying precious goods, as Meriwether swore. Journals, maps, instruments, and equipment, if destroyed, there could be no new shipment. Calm, collected, made Sacagawea saved them. Not the first nor last time the Corps was proud of the film. Upstream, hard labor, they were into the breaks. Cliffs of bare brown. Onward, whatever it takes. But now, encouraged by Rockies seen far distance, driven now by new fever, a goal more insistent. The Big Mo now rocky, danger near every turn. Negotiating rough water, a challenging task to learn. Now, White Cliffs, Lewis claimed a romantic sight, reminiscent of stately buildings in changing light. Now, a cloudy, large river flowing in from the north. The milk, a surprise of many henceforth. Then another fork, a quandary, both equal in size. Clark and Lewis, heads together, no else to advise. After miles of exploration up both equal streams, naming north the Marias, on south with the dreams. Should they be mistaken, it was a fearful choice. But on up the south, Captain said, with equal voice. They decided it propitious to abandon the canoe and charged on afoot, the path always askew. Through mud called gumbo, they'd slip, slide, and fall, but hardened by long row and trek, they stood tall. A slippery gumbo precipice had Lewis near death. It seemed new danger near with every ragged breath. But birds, robin, thrush, goldfinch, blackbird, and wren, flat land more beautiful than ever seen by these men. On up the river, they killed 4 elk, barrels of meat. For a good long while, the Corps had plenty to eat. Then glory, a view of the Rockies covered with snow. Among all, the belief in their task continued to grow. And now the Great Falls, Lewis said, a sight to behold. Now afoot, a steep, hard climb ahead, only foretold. Lewis prayed for the Shoshone and herds of horses, for across the Rockies they'd know all of the courses. To Lewis's surprise, against all he'd been told, it was falls after falls, again a spectacle to behold. His journal said, pleasingly beautiful, sublimely grand. Then he was charged by a buffalo. He made a brave stand, reminded again that in the wild were constant dangers. Reminded again, here all the Corps were strangers. With 5 falls in the river, it was a great portage. But thank the Lord, good health, with food, no shortage. Then the girl, Sacagawea, fell terribly, feverishly ill. Valuable to the Corps, cure took all of Lewis's skill. With a babe to suckle and the Corps to lead west, healthy again, she marched on, babe to her chest. The portage challenged even hardened corpsmen. Toughest trek yet, Lewis recorded on paper with pen. All this long way they had hauled a rigid steel frame. Now to sew a hide cover, a boat, the river to tame. To his great chagrin, when launched, the boat failed. Best laid plans of men, ease of advance curtailed. Not easily thwarted, a copse of cottonwood found, trees large enough to carve canoes, safe and sound. Now the Missouri became 3 forks in a claim. Madison, Gallatin, and Jefferson by Lewis named. Known to the maid, it was here she was captured, so close to home, no doubt, now totally enraptured. Blessed by the Lord, the chief of the first tribe found was Sacagawea's brother, a coincidence renowned. With herds of horses, for baubles willing to trade, and a guide who knew a route across, they prayed. Sacagawea had again proved her worth pure gold. With babe in hand, none of the men were more bold, but the Rockies ahead proved a formidable test. Lay over the winter, a spot named Traveler's Rest. For baubles, the Shoshones traded for horses and provided a guide who knew mountain courses. Then the Bitterroots, 11 days of pure hell. Deep snow, horses and men stumbled and fell. Steep country, deep creeks, rocks, blowing snow. For the very first time, they feared nowhere to go. Then the Shoshone guide came through the Lolo Trail. Then the Nez Perce, new horses, they cannot fail. Ahead the White Snake, the hope of sound boats. It must lead to the Pacific, new hope of easy floats. Now they learned to make canoes by burning, a short stay for the wide Pacific new yearning. The gentle snake, no hiking ahead, easy floats into the wide Columbia. Thank God, new boats. In places, a glorious half mile from side to side. to the Pacific, kick back, a flat easy ride. But soon they discovered wild rapids ahead. This close to success, they could all be dead. Falls, heaving narrows, dangerous and long. But good food, good rest, and all were strong. They portaged, carrying heavy boats around. Again they were convinced, the Pacific bound. November 7th of '05. Oh, joy! Tide changes in view, and they thought, easy living, if they only knew. Hostile Indians, constant fog, nights soaking wet. They hoped rest and food, but now constant fret. But soon, with new vigor, they were headed home. Familiar paths. Even then, they decided to roam. Lewis one way, Captain Clark another path. After all, discovery, sure fame, the aftermath. They met again, far down the great Missouri. Safe, they'd faced the far west in all her fury. A great adventure. They only lost one man, only shot one savage, and that against their plan. Oh, history, the core, what an epic story. For Jefferson and Corps, nationwide glory. One country, forever, from sea to shining sea. A country Jefferson and God meant to be. Sadly, the damn French brought pox to the West. Comely lasses and villages brought needed rest. Clark would be successful, happy and wed. Soon Lewis, infected by his own hand, dead. A sad ending for a 2-year magnificent tale, a trek most said was destined, would surely fail. But a country forever on, from sea to shining sea, a country God and President Jefferson meant to be. A Corps of Discovery by Jefferson directed, a country for all, Corps and Jefferson perfected. It saddens all that almost all got money and land. Not York and Sacagawea, who'd proven so grand. A good thing was pomp by Lewis adopted, a choice even Sacagawea and Charbonneau opted. 2 years, 4 months, and 10 days gone, but a country from sea to sea they would spawn. A whole country now looked on with acclaim, but not two. They lay in the shadow of fame. But it matters. Leaders, Lewis Clark, the Corps, a trail 8,000 miles, none can ignore. Lewis said when sighting the Pacific, "Oh, glory! It's a tale all should revere, for all a proud story." They were men, hound, brave lady, and baby, who faced the unknown with hope and a maybe. So around the campfire, our full supper table, it's a true tale to tell, better than any liar's fable. Thank you for listening. Take good care.